Hi everybody, welcome back to Casey's Chronicles, part something, I don't even know. I know I have a bit of a different view today, excuse the mess and stuff. The reason I am making this video is for an update. Actually, I ended up having surgery and I guessed or made a bet that it was either an abscess or a fistula. I was so wrong. It ended up being a nodule, which is really confusing. Because I have the symptoms, I had the flare-up, I had the feeling I had everything of an abscess or fistula, but it's not there. My doctor's just as confused as me. This is the second time where she's felt something or knows something was there, and then when I was put under like anesthesia and scoped out, it was gone. I have no clue, but you know what? I decided to tell you guys because this actually brings up a perfect example of another thing that just happens with Crohn's. At least in my experience a while back when I was like 16, so about 9, almost 10 years ago, they're more adamant now on figuring out if it's IBD and like there's more like telltale signs, but back then it took them so long to figure out. Like they looked everything as like separate components, and it took a super long time. Even now, being aware of having Crohn's and stuff, like I've had instances a lot where I know something's wrong and I try and get help. I try and figure out what it is. There's like elevated white blood cell levels, but they can't find anything, they can't see anything. I have to get a bunch of tests, MRIs, CTs, like it's a whole process. And honestly, it's something I'm working through as well, is to trust the process, because in my experience, eventually when something popped up finally, it was severe. Which is why, to be honest, I'm subconsciously traumatized from all those experiences of having severe things happen to me, where if I know something's wrong, I need help. Crohn's is a waiting game. It's a waiting game to basically wait for your body to have a big enough thing to actually get help, because so many doctors can turn it away because they won't find anything. Not that I'm saying in any way, shape, or form that you should stop trying to get help if you know or feel like something's wrong. Never, ever, ever stop. Be persistent. That's something I've learned. Oh God, it's a waiting game for many, many, many reasons. One of them is trying to get help when you decide that you feel sick enough. The other is deciding if you are sick enough to even go to the doctor, because we're constantly in pain and ill all the time. All the time. It's like limbo, It's the waiting, or knowing you feel absolutely shit, but not shit enough to get help. It's like when you go to work, right? Or school, and you're sick. The difference between a cold and a flu. A cold, you feel fucking terrible, but you're not bad enough to stay home or get help or go to the doctor or do this stuff, and you still have to try and do things. Whereas the flu, you're severe enough to stay home, get meds, go to the hospital, all that bullshit. I don't know, we're just in pain so much we get used to not feeling good all the time. And we start to decipher where, is this manageable? Like, obviously I feel shit, but can I power through this? Or do I need to see a doctor? Because before, like, I knew, what to look out for. I'd always call my doctor saying, I don't feel good, I don't feel good. They'd be like, do this, you're fine. Go home. Whatever, And until something severe happened where I needed scar tissue taken out of my stomach, or fistula surgeries, or things like that. And we're constantly sick and in pain. And how do you decipher that? Because what I thought was normal once ended up not being normal at all. And I had to have surgery. But also, this time around, I feel really bad, but there's nothing there, and I'm having a slow process of getting help now. And that is basically where I'm at now. Something's going on. I have blood levels to prove it. Something happened downstairs, but clearly that's not the problem. So now I have to wait to get an MRI test and basically knock things down one by one. Definitely a test of patience, because you know your body more than anyone, but no one can do anything about it. Clearly very frustrating. That is it, everyone. I just wanted to give you an update and an inside look at yet another wonderful thing about Crohn's life, and behind the scenes, and what it's really like, just a normal, everyday thing. Don't forget, and this goes to my cronies and just everyone in general, you know your body better than anyone. If you feel like something's wrong, then don't stop trying to get help. That's the one thing I've learned. I used to be very passive, and, it bit me in the ass, literally and figuratively. Trust your gut. Have a wonderful night, be safe, and be kind.